want to know our views on India if we engage at the local levels. People want to know what I think about India, not because I talk about India at the White House, but because I'm successful at what I do in the White House about the issues that I cared about. Then they want to know, well, if you're successful in this, maybe you have some successful ideas. You all face it already, whether you're in, if you're running your own companies and you're successful, then people want to know what you think about India. But they want to know first that you can run a successful company, or you're a successful scientist, or you're successful in the things that you do. The same holds in the political and social sectors. It's not just about what we project, it's about what we do also. And I think sometimes we don't think about the things that we do and how much we can project based on that.
Thank you, Sonal. Victor.
Just to change the topic a little bit, I think one of the areas that the diaspora can play a much bigger role politically in is in India. I think the Indian system is much more open to ideas than we give it credit for, and is really looking for thoughts and examples, and I do believe there's a role to be played there. I mean, most major events, including the freedom movement in India, were done by NRIs in modern India. And it's a country that, in fact, is open to, and not to be lectured, but if you take the trouble of understanding the system and can be part of the system, the amount of leverage and help that can be there is significant. And I think that's something that we should really think about because there is a role to be played. I mean, it's not just lecturing from above, but how do you get involved and how do you get active?
Any thoughts on that?
Just, of course, being the representative of a foreign government in the US context, I have to be very careful and not comment about politics and political approaches in this society. But purely as an outside observer, one, it is clear that the Indian American community here is getting more involved in fundraising activity, and we are seeing that. Also, for example, the House India Caucus and the Senate India Caucus, they are the largest caucuses in the House and the Senate for any country. And part of the reason is it's not just the India Caucus, it's called the Caucus on India and the Indian Americans. And so clearly there is a recognition of the importance of this political constituency for members of the House and the Senate. And just elaborating on a point that both Victor and Sonal made, that obviously there is a spread within the levels of attainment for the diaspora here, that the same study that I referred to has also found that the median income in the generation born here is lower than the median income in the generation that has come from India. And also the level of educational achievement in terms of degrees of the generation born here is lower than the generation that came from India. So obviously there are issues here that need to be discussed.